Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. At long last, another video. Guess I owe you a bit of an explanation as to where I've been. Had a couple of major house restoration projects on: new kitchen, new boiler, re-landscape the garden. Obviously COVID has played its part as well. So I just haven't really had the inclination to get out and do stuff on cars. Last summer the weather wasn't particularly great when I did have a bit of free time. And as you probably gathered by now, I do all the work and everything out on the drive in front of my house. So if it's raining, I really don't want to get out there. Anyway, it's a new year. And that reminds me, Happy New Year everybody. Hope you all had a great Christmas and a great New Year. We've just got through the first week of 2022. So hopefully I'm going to be able to do a few more regular videos now, certainly when the springtime comes and the evenings start getting a bit lighter. Just a quick thank you to everyone that subscribed and watched my videos. I'm really pleased that I've actually made it to over 1,000 subscribers now, so thank you everybody for that. It's much appreciated, and if you're just a casual viewer, don't forget to like, share and subscribe to the channel, and hopefully I'll be bringing you a bit more content this year. With that said, let's get on with today's video. So as you can see, been out here and already got it up on ramps. Front one there is a little bit squiffy, but it don't matter. I just jacked it up off camera and stuck it on the ramps. She's got quite a lot of cobwebs on her. Been sat around for a year or so, waiting for me to get round to doing this work. And what with COVID and stuff, as I've already said, it's all been a little bit delayed. So she's all ready to have a look at, so we'll crawl underneath and I'll show you what needs to be done. Right, so here we are under the car. As I said, the first job I'm going to do is replace the filler neck pipe and breather pipe. You can see here the MOT man has nicely marked it yellow from the last MOT to say that it's split and perished but not leaking. And as you can see here, it's clearly splitting, so is the small one just here. So we've got to get that off. Now this bit is quite easy. Where are we? There. It fits to this plastic pipe. This is plastic here and here, which goes all the way up there, flattens out a bit here, and it goes up to the filler neck on the side of the car. So that's not too bad to get at. However, the other end of it, if I can slide under, and you're not going to be able to see it from here, is right up there behind the tank. It's connected onto the back of the petrol tank. This is the tank here. It's a little bit difficult to video under the car because I can't get the camera far enough away. Can I zoom? Yeah, zoom out a little bit, that's better. So now you can see a bit better. So this is the petrol tank. I fitted a new one of these, I don't know how many years ago now. Quite a lot of years, probably about 6. But those pipes connect right up there at the back of the tank. So unfortunately, the tank is going to have to come out. Now, to get the tank out, you've got these straps here. There's one here, and there's another one over here. And they're fastened with bolts. Now this one here is a right pig, because I don't think you can see it on camera because I haven't got enough light, but it's right up there, the bolt. You can't really see it. Must have got on it before, unless I just loosened it from the back. So obviously somewhere back here there's another bolt up there, and let's see if we can see those. Where are those? Yes, that one's not too bad to get at. It's just behind here, up here somewhere, so I think we can get that one all right, and that one there I think you can see quite clearly is just there, so we can get to those two okay. But the pain is to get this tank off, you have to take the exhaust off. Now
I think this exhaust is going to be a bit of a pain. There's a join just the other side of the second back box there, right up there, and I think I'm going to take it apart from there, because there's no point trying to get it apart, excuse the camera angle while I move around underneath the car, there's no point trying to take it apart from here, because as you can see that's really badly corroded, and it's not going to be an advantage anyway, because that will just remove this back box, and this bit here will still be in the way, and I don't really want to strain it on the flexi joint up the front there, so I think we're going to have to take all the mounts off and drop the exhaust out. And then the fuel lines, so these fuel lines need disconnecting, so there's one here, there's two more there, and I believe I've got to disconnect two inside the car under the back seat, which go to the fuel pump. So that's going to be fun. So what I'm going to do is squirt everything with WD-40, and fingers crossed we can get all these bolts out. So before you do any work on the fuel system of any fuel injected car, which is most modern cars, you need to depressurize the fuel system. So here on the V6 engine on the GSi, under this little cap here, you can see there is a little, what looks like a tyre valve. Just put a little piece of rag around it, and then what I'm going to do is just get in there with a little screwdriver, and you can see there was a squirt of fuel come out there, and that should, again just to make sure, should have released any fuel pressure in the system. Put the cap back on to protect it, you don't want any dirt getting in there, and then we can work on the fuel system safely. Here is a little tab that needs pushing in to release these connectors. There's one on the other side that I can't get to, same on this connector here. There is a special tool for doing that. You can do it with a pair of long nose pliers and get either side and nip those in, or you can get a special tool. I think I paid about £6 for it. That is the special tool for doing it, so that goes either side of the connector somehow like that. I'm going to probably do this off camera, actually do the job off camera, but you get the idea of taking those off. So we need to release those, and also this connector here is the electrical connector for the sender unit, so that's what tells you how much petrol you've got left in the tank. Just need to lift this little tab up, and we should be able to pop that connector off. He says, struggling with it. I probably need two hands to do this, to be honest, but yeah, we'll have a go at that off camera and I'll show you when it's off. Now, if I remember rightly, when I did this before, if you're not very careful, because you can see this is quite close to the bodywork of the car, if you're not very careful, this connector will drop back and you'll have a hell of a job finding it again. So what I did, and in fact the cable ties are still here, there's a little point in here, look, for anchoring the seat down, where the seat clips down to, and I put a couple of cable ties around there, and just notice my phone case is getting in the way, so there's a couple of cable ties around there, and what I did is I tied a little piece of string or something around there, piece of wire, and through that cable tie loop, just to keep this up through here. And I think I'll do the same with both those pipes as well, just to stop them disappearing back down there. If they do when you're taking the tank out, it's not a big problem, because you can then find them under the car when the tank's out of the way and poke them back up. But obviously when you're putting the tank back up, it's quite heavy and unwieldy to get it back up, so just a good idea to tie these off. So I'm going to do that now and release these pipes, and we'll come back when it's done. See if we can get this one off, see if you can see what I'm doing. So either side there, you've got these two little square pieces here, they go in there, give them a squeeze, and then we should, he says, hopefully be able to just pull that connector off. The other one came off quite straight, quite easily. There we go, and that just pops off, and again we've got a little bit of fuel spillage there. So So these pieces, the black piece here, actually has colour coded there, look, so the black and black, and blue on there. Although the hoses are the same colour, and there's nothing on there to denote which one's which, but I've got me a bit of blue tape on that one. So all I'm going to do now is I'm just going to put this piece of string under these pipes and this cable. So I've pulled the cable out, just depress that. Little clip on there will lift it rather than pull that out of the socket there. I'm just going to put a little piece of string around there and pull it tight and splash fuel everywhere. And to be honest, I don't think I'm going to use those cable ties. I think I might just wrap that round the little metal bracket that's in there a couple of times, and it should be good to go. So that's everything in here disconnected. So that'll allow, because obviously this part here is the top of the fuel tank, still losing a little bit of fuel out of there. The tank is quite empty. That's another thing worth mentioning. Make sure your fuel tank's quite empty or nearly empty before you try and remove it, because obviously the fuel weighs quite a lot and the tank weighs quite a lot. So now if you wanted to, this piece here will rotate. You can knock that around with a screwdriver. You can see there's like a tab. There's 5 more actually around the outside of this. If you knock that round, you can then lift that out, and that's got the whole pump and fuel pump and sender unit and everything attached to that, but we don't need to do that because this tank's going back as it is. So yeah, time to get on with some work under the car now, I think. I decided to take the exhaust off first, because obviously that's in the way of the tank. I have actually cracked off 3 of the strap bolts that hold the tank on. They've come away quite easily after being soaked in WD-40. This exhaust is being a complete and utter nightmare. So if you can see up there, there's a flange here with 2 bolts through it, one that side and one that side. That one I've got out all right. Well, let me go back to the beginning. There's a clamp here. That's a catalytic converter. That's a 200 cell sports cat on a, I think it's a Miltech front manifold, and then the rest is a Magnex stainless steel system all the way through, including the back box. That clamp, I thought I'd try that first, because these 2 bolts in here looked a complete and utter nightmare. So that clamp cracked off quite easily, but I don't know if you can see it just there. The clamp has actually dented the inner piping, so I'm figuring that's going to grip the bit of pipe that goes into it, because that clamp and that section are part of the front section of the exhaust, the catalyst section. So it's difficult to see because I've got those mole grips in the way. So I decided I'd have to take these bolts out of the flange. I've got 1 bolt out. It is absolutely trashed. I don't know if you can see it there. It is knackered. But I'd put some sort of stainless steel bolt or something on it, nut on it, which hadn't corroded, and that came off quite easily. It's a bit of a struggle, but easier than this one. So this one, the nut has corroded, rusted away to virtually nothing. I was trying to work out how long it was ago, because I put this exhaust system on, and I think that's been on here 12 years. So it's got 12 years of rust and corrosion on there. But this is now shifting. This nut that I've got the mole grips on at the moment up here, I'll show you better when I get it apart what I mean, but that nut, there's nothing left of it. It's a 13mm nut, and I put a 13mm spanner on it, and it just sprung off. It was a ring spanner, and it just rounded straight off. It didn't even grip it without putting hardly any pressure on it. So there's nothing much left of that nut. But I have got it on the move now. I've just given it another dose of WD-40. So I'm going to crack on with that off camera and see if I can get that off. It'll probably be about 2 seconds for you and probably about another hour for me. But I'll give it a go and we'll come back when I've got it off. Okay, so it took me about 15 minutes in the end to get that last one out. This is the one that was being a real pain. As you can see, the nut is pretty knackered on that end. Bolt's not a lot better either, so I think we'll source a couple of new nuts and bolts for that. So now I've got that flange disconnected there. That's undone. So if you look at the exhaust pipe system, that's now disconnected there, as you can see. These rubbers are holding it in. They've got little clips on them. Let's try and show you up there. Right, these little clips here, and they just pop off the ends of the exhaust hangers. So this one I can leave in because these clips on, there's another one on the other side up there. These mounts I can leave in because it will slide that way, but that one, if you can see up there, we're going to have to take the clips off and slide the mounts off because it's got to slide the other way. So I'll take that one off, and maybe the ones right at the back. We'll have a walk around in a minute and have a look, and then hopefully we can just slide this exhaust system out. Let's go and have a look at those back clips. So looking back down the car, that's where we were working just now. So right down the front set of the clips, see if we can zoom in a little bit. So right down there, that set of rubbers there are the ones that we need to disconnect the clips from. The furthest set away pointing the other way we can leave in, because obviously the exhaust has got to pull away towards us. Yeah, so you can see the clip a little bit better on there, if I can get and point to it. So just there, those clips got to come off. We can then slide those rubbers off. Do this one first, do the middle ones, and then we should just be able to slide the whole exhaust system this way towards that way. Where are we? That way, out the back of the car. It's going to be quite heavy, so I might put a jack under one of those middle boxes or something underneath their axle stand or something, halfway along, just to balance it on, because it is going to be heavy. I can remember when I put it back on and I was 12 years younger then. So let's get those clips off and see if we can get it out. So at last the exhaust pipe is off, as you can see there. It was quite heavy as expected. Just a quick look at the clips and rubbers and things I was talking about. So these are the rubber mounts that hold the exhaust pipe on, and these are the little clips that I was talking about pulling off, so you can get the rubbers off. You just have a quick look under the car again. Probably under the back here would be better. Yeah, so there you can see the mounting point, and it's got a little groove cut in the end there, and basically the rubber slips over like that, and then the little clip thing goes on, slides on there. I'm not going to push it back on, but it slides on over that groove and locks in place. So just to get it off, all I did is put a little screwdriver So to get it off, all I did is put a little screwdriver down that hole, that end, the opposite end of my fingers, and just pried it off, just pulled it off. They come off quite easily. So yeah, as you can see, all the way down there now is no exhaust pipe, and obviously that thing there just above the axle stand is the fuel tank. Back underneath the car again, and one of the things I've got to remove is this little thing here, which is the fuel filter. I'm going to be replacing that anyway, because I'm going to give the car a service as part of all this work I'm doing on it before I go to the MOT. So there's just a little clip thing here that you can release. Struggling to do it with one hand. There, that's released, so that's now free, the fuel filter. And you can see on the end there, it's got some more of those little clips that I showed you earlier inside the car, another one on that end. So release those, and then this bracket is, I think you just need to put a screwdriver in here and just pry that off, because this clip that holds the fuel filter on is on one of the fuel tank mounting points, mounting straps. So yeah, I'm going to get that off, and then I'm going to go over the other side, over there, and we'll disconnect that fuel hose there. I think there's 2 more up there. They weren't coming off. In fact, they might not actually, because they might be the ones that go up to the tank, the feed and return up to the tank that we took off inside earlier, so they might not need to come off. I'll have an investigate, see what else needs to come off there, and then I'm going to have a go at getting that hidden bolt out. So these bolts up here, you can just see one right up there, and the others 3. So there's one over this side, just there, and this one up here. I don't know if we can see that one, but that's up there above that clip. They've all loosened off quite nicely with the socket, but it's this one that's up behind here that is really difficult to get to. Can't remember what I did last time. I've owned this car nearly 14 years, and I think I put the new fuel tank in within the first year of ownership because it was leaking when I bought it. So yeah, I need to work out how to get to that bolt. It'll probably be a spanner job, but hopefully it will shift as easy as the others have. So I'm going to crack on with that, and I'll catch you in a bit. Right guys, having a look underneath the car and tracing the pipes through, I've realised that we probably didn't need to take those 2 pipes off the top of the tank, because they clip around the outside of the tank, and they are in fact the ones that we looked at underneath. And I don't think we actually need to disconnect the fuel filter, just unclip it from the bracket, which we've already done. But in addition to that, so just recapping, all we needed to do in here was take that electrical plug out. So that's that plug, but I don't think we needed to disconnect these. I'll probably leave them off for now, as I've already done them, but maybe I'll take them off the string actually, because obviously we won't be able to put it, but I think they come with the tank and they actually disconnect down underneath, which we'll have a look at in a minute. But in addition, what we've also got to do is we've got to remove the fuel filler neck. So to do that, we've got to take this out and apparently remove this rubber, which just pulls out, and somewhere in there is a retaining bolt, which I seem to remember, I think it's down the bottom here somewhere. We'll have a look at that in a little bit more detail. I think it's down there somewhere around here, but we'll find out where that is. And then a bit of a pain, but we've got to take this wheel off, and then we've got to take the wheel arch liner out underneath, and disconnect some more bits to do with this filler pipe, so we can get that all out of the way. So I'm going to crack on and do that now, and I'll show you what I've done when I've done it. Okay, so it's all been a bit of a nightmare. That's just gone out of focus, but right down there it is a little bolt that you can see, and like everything else on this car, it is rusted solid. I can't get a socket or spanner on it from this side, it's just rounding off. So I've taken the wheel off and the wheel arch liner, which is something you need to do. And I don't know if you can see it. It's up there on where that bracket is, just there is the screw. I can get on it this time, but again, an 8mm spanner is just rounding off, and a 7mm won't fit on it. So it's obviously an 8mm bolt that's knackered. So the idea was to take this plastic piece out. So this is the plastic piece here that's gone all the way, it goes all the way under where those 2 split pipes are connected to. And the reason for getting that out is to get these 2 vent pipes off. Now I think one of them is quite easy, that one there, I think we can disconnect and unthread. That one there, is a little bit difficult because it goes through a little hole in that plastic pipe just there. But I don't see why we need to take that filler neck off after all this, because that goes all the way down under here. Let's see if I can trace it round for you. Might be a bit rubbish photography while I crawl about under the car. Sorry about that. Right, so that's another fat plastic part. That goes all the way along there, all the way along here, and then this is our two marked up pipes that have got the splits in them, and this are the two vent pipes that we looked at up at the filler neck. So I think if I just disconnect those and pull them through, disconnect this here and pull these off of there, and I think somewhere on here, yeah, just here, is another bolt that holds this, and this plastic pipe, so I'm thinking that will give us enough flex just to move it out of the way. It's not in the way of getting the tank out, because obviously these pipes have got to go that way. Sorry, it wasn't showing you there. So this has all got to pull that way, and the tank's got to drop out over there somewhere. So I'm going to have a go at that. The good thing is I've noticed that these pipes up here, so this is these vent pipes again, these have been marked from where I took them out before. So it's just a case of getting that last one there, that one, threaded back through. So what I'm thinking of doing is, just hoping it's not, is it fixed to that at all? I don't know. What I'm hoping of being able to do is pull a draw wire through or something. I'm just wondering if that's fixed the other side of that. But if I can get that bolt out, and this might all just drop down, then get this disconnected up here. So let's have a go at that and see how we get on. So managed to disconnect those two breather pipes from up there, so they came off of there and there. I don't know if you can see right up there, up here is that screw. I can get on it a little bit better from here, but I still can't get it out. It's just rusted in there, the head's nearly disappeared. So what I managed to do is unthread through this hole one of those breather pipes. One of them was supposed to be clipped down here, so if you look, say there, there's like some cutouts in there, and the pipe pushes in. Excuse me. And the other one goes through that hole and clips down the other side, all the way down the back of it. If we just crawl under a little bit, what I've also done is disconnected the offending flexible hoses from the plastic bit. So they're the ones we need to change. They were a bit of a nightmare. I ended up having to cut the clips off because they were rusted, so it took ages. I've removed that bolt out of there, which means this plastic piece is now nice and flexible, and I can sort of pull it down, get around the back of it to get that pipe out, and put the other one, put it back in again. So it's just hung on by that one screw up in there somewhere. So I will try and get that out, but I'm just going to press on and try and get this tank out now. So like I said, I don't think we needed to disconnect those pipes in the inside of the car. We'll have a look at those again in a minute. Just need to disconnect or just remove the fill filter from the clip that's on the tank holding strap, which I've done. And then there are some more petrol pipes, I believe up that end, maybe over the other side. I'll have a closer look at that in a minute, that need disconnecting. And I think the pipes that are on the top of the tank actually come off with the tank and end up down here at these connections. So let's just have a look at a bit more detail at that. Yeah, so back inside the car, I've connected those two pipes back up because they actually come off with the tank. disconnect underneath. I'll show you in a second. So all we've needed to really disconnect in here was the electrical connector for the fuel pump and the sender unit, which I've tied back out of the way with a piece of string, so that when we drop the tank out, that will stay there ready for reconnecting when we put it back in. So those two pipes that are disconnected and then reconnected back up on the tank come down to here, which is just in front of the tank on the driver's side. These two connections, if you look down there, that's the front of the car, driver's side if you're in the UK, right hand side if you're looking in the car. So yeah, those two connectors there, I believe, are the two that go up on the tank that we just reconnected. I'm not too sure what that one there is, whether we need to disconnect that as well, but we'll work on that. So I'm going to get my special tool and try and get in there and get that disconnected. Right, as you can see, I've got those connectors disconnected there. Made a note of which one goes where. Also, I've disconnected that line there. I'm not sure if I needed to, but while I was under here, I thought I'd get rid of it, get it disconnected. So that's off. The fuel in there looks a bit skanky, which might explain why the car was running a bit rough. But like I say, I've drained it right out of fuel anyway, so it's really empty. The light on the dash is flashing, so the tank should be reasonably light, and I'll stick a couple of cans of new fuel in there before we try and start it up again. So all I need to do now is release these brackets, these bands here, one there, one over that side, and drop the tank. I'm going to stick a block of wood under the tank on a trolley jack because I think it's going to be quite heavy. I can't get to that bolt up there for that strap. It's virtually impossible to get to, so I'm going to release the other three and hopefully bend this strap down out of the way to allow me access, or to allow me to slide the tank out. I don't know how I did it last time. As I say, it was about 12 years ago when I replaced the fuel tank, maybe even longer than that. So yeah, let's crack on with that and see how we get on. Right, so finally got the fuel tank out, as you can see there. You can see it more clearly now. The reason we're changing this is these pipes here. So that one's split in there, like you can see. And also I've noticed on the other end, that one's split in there as well. And not sure about that one looks alright. Tank's looking in reasonably condition, a little bit of surface rust. Not too sure what's going on here. Looks like there might have been a little leak there. I don't know what it is. Oh, it's one of those breather pipes, so that's nothing too important. That's those little pipes we took off. What I've done there, you see I've got some bungs on there now, just to stop fuel coming out. Bought a little kit of those. I think I got them off eBay or Amazon, something. Various little sizes to block off pipes. So yeah, that's the tank out. I think it's about time to get the new pipes out, make sure we've got the right ones. Now we can see these properly, see the shapes. Obviously I'm going to have to try and get this off and thread all the pipes through and make sure that they're in the right angle, because you can see they've got a bit of a kink to them and they point off in that direction. The other thing as well, I couldn't get the other bolt out up there for that bracket, so as you can see all I've done is I've just undone the two front ones and let them bend down. They're quite flexible as you can see, flop about quite easily. So that's what we've done there. That's the fuel filter, which is attached to the pipe work around the tank. Various clips and stuff. I remember replacing these when I put a new tank in. So we just need to make sure when we put it back all these pipes are routed in the correct place. Not too sure about that one, where that's supposed to go and whether this is supposed to be clipped onto the tank or not, but we can work that out. So yeah, let's find the new pipes and see if they're the right ones.
So this video has gone on for about half an hour now, so I think that's a good place to leave it. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe down below. As you might have noticed, the underside of the Vectra GSi is a little bit rusty. There's a little bit more about that to come on the next video. Not quite sure where to go with it yet. I'm thinking dropping the subframe off and the rear subframe as well, and getting them powder coated and painting underneath. What I'd give for an industrial unit or a little workshop with a 2-post lift right now, yeah, it'd just be fantastic if I could get hold of something like that, but trying to find anything locally is virtually impossible at the minute. So let me know what you think down in the comments. As I say, don't forget to subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one.